Hey, welcome to UMAX Exercise TV. I'm here at Fit Factory here on West 27th Street in New York City. Today I'm going to show you how to do core exercises with back injuries. This is a very common thing for a lot of people. They want to know how can they work on their core without injuring their back even more. So I'm going to show you a couple of positions and how we can modify those positions so that you can be safe but still get the workout that you're looking for. One of the common positions to be in is the C-sit position. This is a position where typically your legs are usually bent. They could be straight, but it's a lot easier for them, it's a lot better for them to be bent. And then you lean your body back a little bit in this position, so that way your core is engaged while you're in this position. Now, one of the things that you run into is that you start to get a little strain in your back if you have any previous back injuries. So I'll give you a move, for example. Let's say we're doing flutter kicks. Flutter kicks, when your legs stay straight and you move your legs up and down. It's a great core exercise for you to do, and it's just awesome. However, not everyone can do it. So a modification could be that instead of putting your hands by your hips, which is typically where they should be, you can actually move your hands back here and perform the same move. So now you actually start putting that weight on your arms when you're doing your flutter kicks. Now, that can help some people, but there's still some people that may feel it in their back still. So the next position that you can do to modify is actually to go down on your elbows. And we'll do the same move. Legs kick, just in this position. So you're putting more pressure onto your arms, and it helps to take a little bit of the pressure off of your back while you're in this position. If that's still not working, then you go into a hollow position, which is that you actually keep your whole body onto the floor, but the important part of this is that you have to keep your shoulders off the floor. So if you notice, my shoulders come off the floor and I do my kicks. Now my hands are to my sides and I do my kicks. It is very, very important that you keep your shoulders off the floor. When you do, you're going to feel that contraction in your core right there. If you'd like get a little bit of extra help, you can actually look down at your feet as you're doing the exercise, which will help you to keep your shoulders off the floor. That is a great way to avoid any back injuries or any further back injuries if you have any when you're doing that exercise. Another position typically is our plank position, which most people know is our push-up position. So we have a high plank position when your hands are in this position, and we have the low plank position when your elbows are down. For many people, the back injuries that they may have sustained in the past put too much pressure on the back when they're doing that. So here's a few modifications. Typically in high plank, what you can do is put your knees down, and now in this position you need to keep the legs in this position, or you can pull them up, which will actually shift your body weight. If you notice, it shifts your body weight forward and it puts more emphasis on the core. And then you can do whatever that move is. Let's say it can be a side leg extension. You can just do your side leg extensions just like that. Notice, I'm not in this position. When you're in this position, you're not activating your core because all of that weight is down in your legs. You want to make sure you lean forward a little bit, and then move your leg out to the side, and leg out to the side, leg out to the side. So you want to make sure you keep your core activated by keeping a straight line from your head all the way down to your knees as a modification. The same thing applies if you are doing a low plank position. Instead of being in this position, you will go down on your knees, come forward a little bit, and you'll be holding the same position. It's a little less pressure on the back, and you're still able to do those moves. What you can do is you can adjust yourself based on where you're feeling it in your back. If you're still feeling it a little bit, then you just inch your knees up a little bit until you no longer feel that pain in your back. So those are a few things that you can do. When it comes to standing, some people may run into a couple of issues. Let's get a weight, for example. And perhaps you have to do things where you have to twist. This is very important. You want to make sure whenever you're doing a core exercise that requires you to use a weight, you must keep your core tight at all times. So when you do so, always make sure you slightly bend your knees unless the instructor is asking you to go into a squat position. If they're not, then you should still have a slight bend in your knees for stability purposes. It's actually very dangerous to stand straight up and wildly twist yourself like that. That's not safe. So always bend your knees, keeps your body nice and stable, and if it's a move, for example, like twisting, keep your core tight at all times. If you have to relax and take a break, you stop the move altogether, but you never relax your core while you're doing the exercise. Never do that, very dangerous. So bend your knees, tighten your core. And you keep that rotational movement. Some mistakes that people tend to make is they're doing this and they tilt their body. You never want to tilt your body in any position unless that is what the move requires. But if you're only supposed to do a rotational movement and you're doing a tilting movement, you can really hurt yourself. So you want to make sure whatever that move is, take your time before you get started, especially if you have previous back injuries. This is a move which is very different from this move. Now this move is a move that requires you to tilt your body. When you have a previous back injury, you want to make sure that you only go to your threshold. So if your threshold is just right here, then you go as far as you can, right there, then come right back. Do the same thing on the other side. If you're able to go further, then go ahead and go further. But only go to that threshold. Don't go past it. So guys, those are a few things that you can do, a few modifications that you can do when you're doing core work. And I hope those things help you when you guys do your next workout. Till then guys, UMAX your life.